doing the project number 10 in the Competent Communicator Manual. It's called Inspire Your Audience. It will be between 8 and 10 minutes. The title of her speech is For My Sister the Warrior, and her objective is, many of us are guilty of simply not saying the words thank you to our loved ones. I'm going to do that, something special, for my sister Beverly that I have neglected to do for so many years. Please welcome Elaine G.
Could everyone please stand? Now, I would like you to only sit if you have said thank you to every family member and friend for something deserving. Only sit down if recently you've said thank you to everyone that deserves it. Everyone please be seated. As you can see, almost all of us are guilty of simply not saying those two words. Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, this speech is for my sister Beverly. For over 15 years, I have wanted to do something really special for my sister Beverly, but I haven't. Years have gone by since I received that devastating telephone call that my sister had suffered a cardiac incident and was in Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York. That was the first of the many problems that she had, but I always believed I had time to say thank you. There was hours and hours that we were in the hospital, conversations with Dr. Oz, and the realization that my sister may not make it through surgery. So I decided I needed to do something special, and this is it. And I tried to think of all the things that we have been through together, and I have a few insights that suggest her character, and I would like to recite a poem that I believe just encompasses her spirit. The first, I guess, retrospective that I'd like to give you was in the late 50s, my family took a trip to South Carolina. It was my parents, my 5 brothers, my sister, who by the way is 10 years older than me. We took a trip and we boarded the ferry across the Chesapeake Bay. This took hours. All I remember was running across the deck, and I was out of breath. Beverly! Beverly! I saw a sign in the ladies' room, and it said whites only. And I couldn't even drink any water from the faucet. It had a sign there too. So she took my hand, as she seldom did. But then I remembered, at that point, she had the look. The women in my family have a look I lovingly call the Dolores, aptly after my mother, and that meant she was not happy at that moment. It was a look of, you know, I'll fix this. She took my hand and she escorted me to the ladies' room. But as I was going into the ladies' room and I was rushing in, I remember I looked back and I saw her. She was standing at the ladies' room, tall, thin, statuous frame, 5'11", close, with her hands across her chest, like a warrior standing guard. And then she walked me over to the water fountain. And she stood that way again. But then it occurred to me, I believed I was a warrior in training, as we all are when we have sisters at that age. And that's when I realized, I'm going to pay attention to this sister. That's the first. The second thing I remember so well was again in the late 50s when we shared a bedroom. And I remember candles flickering in all 4 corners of the room. sister sitting on the bed, and I could see the shadow of her sitting Indian style, with her black turtleneck and her black pants. She was reciting poetry or listening to music. In my room, in the evenings, she would be reciting poetry from James Baldwin, Nikki Giovanni, Maya Angelou, or I'd be listening to music from Miles Davis or Ellington. My sister didn't have that many clothes. She wasn't interested in that. But she would have piled up in that closet books, poetry books, regular books, and albums. That was my sister. She was and is the oldest of 7 children, yet the first black beatnik flower child I have ever known. How do you figure? I always wondered how that happened, but that was my sister, a little different from everyone else. The third retrospective that I have is the fact that my very strong sister was the type that loved education. So she was the first woman I knew to receive a bachelor's degree with honors. But I knew that there were problems because I would overhear her talk to my mother in the kitchen about how difficult it was not only for a woman, but for a woman of color in the early 60s to receive a degree and to attain her goals. But anything that my sister started, she finished. So you have a look into a character, but what I saw was more of a warrior. And what I would like to portray in this poetry that I would like to give you now is the warrior spirit of Beverly. And the poem is Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You might write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you so beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got gold mines pumping in my living room. Sounds like Beverly. Just like the moons and the suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still, I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head, lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops leaking from my soulful cries. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling. I bear with the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. Leaving behind nights I knew I would not be there. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of a slave. I rise. I rise. I rise. Fellow Toastmasters, the warrior, as we speak, is fighting for her life. So what I would like you to do, fellow Toastmasters and guests, is to extrapolate from my speech and from my words the importance of letting all you love and care about know how much they mean to you. So, I think it's time. I think it's time to speak today. I got a new 5S. It's not working very well, but let's see if it works. Hello, hi Bev.
Hey, Elaine, what's up?
Bev, you are in front of about 30 people, and I'm going to say thank you for everything. I'll talk to you tomorrow. We're here.
Okay, take care.
Bye. It is the importance of each and every person that everyone knows the importance of their being here.